Well, welcome back, Arjuna. I think we're online. I got to turn the music off because
Thank you.
otherwise Sam Morrison and turn the page.
I'll sue you.
Yeah, will sue us. Here we are. So, Arjuna, it's your final episode of your for a while of your residency here.
Yeah,
at
thanks.
Doncaster. Turn up and talk.
been
Wisdom
great.
on tap. It's been wonderful to have you.
Yeah, been brilliant.
I feel a bit like Billy Joel when Billy Joel finally gave up his Madison Square Garden residency. Feels like that kind of moment.
Yeah.
I've had some bouting chats with you, my friend.
I know. Like it's 4 PM. How about that?
We don't care, do we?
No.
You're going to go to bed soon.
Yeah.
One of the things that I just would love to do at this final thing, because I think people probably listen to a lot of our listeners here and viewers watch every episode in order, so it's quite useful. But I suppose just off camera, we were talking, a lot of people try meditation. Certainly a lot of people walk into my world going, I've kind of tried that.
Yeah.
I've done the Sam Harris app. I've meditated with Jay Shetty. I've got, hi, I'm Andy. What's that? Headspace.
Headspace.
Sorry, Andy.
Come on, defend yourself.
Yeah. Come on, Andy. Come on the show here. We love you. And they're like, you know what? This meditation thing ain't for me. It don't work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What would I say to them?
I'm just leaving that big long pause. I did that the other day, just to go off piece with a hotel. I got to a hotel and they said, hi, have you got any identification? I was like, no. I left my wallet on the sofa. It was on the way up here and they were like, well, you need identification. We can't let you check in because you booked on the day. I said, all right. I said, well, I don't have any identification. And then she looked at me like you are now. And I looked at her and we just looked.
Just waited for one of you to crack.
One of us had to crack and it wasn't going to be me. I wasn't driving home. And I just looked and looked. And she went, okay, let me see what I can do.
All right, then.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm doing that with you.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, it's, I suppose you could term this with meditation. You could actually turn this with anything. It's like, I've tried journaling. It doesn't work for me. I don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
I've tried, Vipassana. Go on. Vipassana don't work for me. Yeah, I tried running, don't work for me. I tried that carnivore diet, don't work for me. So I suppose when we're saying, hey, I've tried this, it doesn't work for me. In a meditation sense, where do you go with that? If someone's listening in, you must have that a lot. You must have that a lot.
Yeah. I think there has to be a willingness to try, a willingness to actually get in and practice of something. And I think it has to be an ongoing conversation rather than, because it doesn't work becomes pretty black and white, doesn't it? What doesn't work? Where are you going to go with that? Tell us more, kind of thing. Why isn't it working? What's your lifestyle like? What's your mind like? What's happening? What do you love?
I love a question I ask around this is, okay, what's working look like to you? I ask it about everything. I don't think Unbreakable would work for me, like the cat. Okay. What would be a good sign it was working? I could listen to some bloke chomp a fucking apple over here. All I can hear is try to do it quietly.
Can't eat an apple quietly.
You put that down, you distract me drinking your cup of tea. It's like he's on his bait over there, isn't it? It's like he's just finished flipping plastering a wall or something. Oh, me bait, love. Where's me lunch, Fox? Just sat there,
bait?
drinking his brew, eating his apple. But it's like, okay, well, tell me what would working look like?
Good question.
Or, okay, what would working look like? How do we know it's working? Or what makes you think it's not working?
Yeah.
Because is progress an expectation thing? Like if I said, I don't know, my gym program isn't working. It ain't working. I'm not getting anything from it. But I was expecting to be able to run, an ultra marathon in the first 6 weeks after doing no training.
Yeah.
My measure of what's working or not is quite unrealistic. So you mustn't come across some unrealistic expectations when it comes to meditation, because we all want to turn into the most powerful force wielder of our generation, don't we?
I am the chosen one.
I mean, I do. I'm like, why am I not moving objects?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Why am I not moving things with the force yet?
Yeah.
What are some of the common reasons people give you for it not working?
I mean, straight away, I can't stop thinking.
Okay.
I can't focus. I thought it would take away this difficult question that I have, and the question's still there.
All right. What like?
Well, I'm having trouble in my relationship. My finances are in ruins. I thought it would take away the need to act, the need to do something, the need to come to some kind of terms, change it, leave it, or accept it.
What, when someone says that to you, what do you say?
Well, yeah, it's tricky because hypotheticals and all, but no, I mean, what I see is with ascension is that it shakes your tree, and shakes it in a good way. So anything that rotten will fall out. And so it's not going to be a sedative or a removal from life. It will show you the things that you're compromising in sharper detail. So
I like that. It's not going to be a sedative.
No.
When you say it shakes the tree,
Yeah.
how does that practically manifest? How would I experience the shaking of the tree?
Well, I think what you love comes into sharper focus. And where you're compromising essentially comes into sharper focus too.
So do you mean on an element that I sit, I close my eyes, I'm like, fucking right, I've had a busy day, I'm gonna ascend here. There I am, being my best self. And all of a sudden I'm churning away about something I'm not happy with. Is that the shaking of the tree there? Is that you?
Can be on that, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's on my mind. It's like, hey, that's something I probably need to go deal with.
Yeah. There's sort of micro levels and macro levels to this. So there's the shaking of the tree in terms of your nervous system of releasing it in any given moment. So just like my chi machine I was talking about, it can give you just a gentle shake, and everything all the knots are kind of loosened up. It gives you energy, that kind of micro. But then in terms of what you're doing or not doing, it just gently shows you, hey, you could do this differently. You want to do this differently. On a bigger level, on life decisions type level. Where are you devoting your time and your energy or not, as the case may be. But
okay.
Yeah.
One of the common things I will say to people, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, is we have an upgrade when people roll into our academy, you can choose. So you say, okay, you got your basic stuff that you can do every day, and we're going to help you with that, yada, yada. And you're going to move through a series of steps. All right. And one of those steps is you're going to meditate for 5 days in a row. And we're going to provide you with the resource, which is one of yours or whatever on the app. And it's like, okay, just commit to 5 days. And, then they have to write a little bit about their experience. And very often what will come up is, God, I just couldn't shut my mind off, or, I'm just not sure this is working for me. And that gives you the opportunity to go in and say, brilliant. You're never going to shut your mind off, yada, yada, yada. Like they've had a practical learning experience. They've got immediate feedback from us.
Yeah.
But we can't talk about meditation. Say, well, you probably won't be able to switch off until they've done the practical experience of it. Then we come in with the feedback.
Yeah.
But we've also got an upgrade they can take. Now, these people can take an upgrade, which is a health upgrade, because very often people coming into our work aren't looking after themselves physically. They take on a challenge. They can take a self-worth upgrade, because very often people aren't, feeling particularly great in themselves. Or they can take calm in the chaos. Calm in the chaos is 30 days in a row meditation. And that is it. We're like, once you've done that upgrade, you're good.
Yeah.
You never have to meditate again. That's it. 30 days. Now I know we want them doing it all the time, but it's like, no, once you've done that, 30 days in a row, you're all good. Brilliant. So people have I've given myself 30 days. If they break the streak, they have to start again. And people stick to that. But the common thing that happens after 30 days is they go, this is a part of my life. Not because it takes 30 days to build a habit, yada, yada. But they're like, wow. And one thing that we often do is we take, what a lot of people will do is they'll do 30 days, go, oh, brilliant, done. And they'll stop. And then they'll immediately notice all of the benefits they've just been experiencing. And they go, right, God, I didn't realize how much that was doing for me.
Yeah.
But we don't say you're going to meditate forever. This is something you need to do every day for the rest of your life. It's just do 30 days. And it's like people can get down with that.
Yeah.
But I think that's when they start to learn. You learn through doing, don't you?
It teaches you. Yeah.
But I think it's like, what am I expecting? That is the key question. Like, because then you ask, well, what were you expecting? And people come out with the most random of expectations. You're like, well, that's never going to happen. So you're always going to be disappointed. Disappointment comes when the outcome or our behavior doesn't meet our expectations. So if our expectations are completely impossible, we're never going to meet them. We're always going to be disappointed.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
So do you think people can often have unrealistic expectations of what should happen?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, one of the first things I talk with Ascension is innocence, the absence of expectation, to be wide open to whatever wants to happen.
You taught me something early on, actually, which was most people have sort of 3 or 4 different experiences. You might not be able to remember it because I know we teach things and then we move on from them. But it was like, well, sometimes you have an experience where, man, you drop in and you're like, you are Yoda, you know, you're the most powerful force user of all time. And then sometimes you're like, man, I'm mentally just, it's going, like you burn off the mental chatter. It's like the mental chatter is really quite active.
Yeah.
And you might feel physical, like unease, and you're like, gosh, sitting down, I just want to move. And that's like burning off the stress of
a lifetime.
A lifetime, yeah. Well, sometimes you just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely knackered. But one thing that stuck with me that you said, which was, you always get what you need, not what you want when you get out of the way.
Yeah.
Do you think the thing that keeps us not practicing, or I'm not getting anything from this, is we're focused on what we want to get from it?
Could be.
Rather than what we need to get from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I keep thinking of assuming that it's the right tool. I mean, there's 100 million different meditation tools. And they are just like cars. Some of them are rusty, difficult to drive, always breaking down. Some of them are sleek, easy, simple. You know, and there's this kind of democratic idea that all things are created equal in this world, and that it's not. You know, the technologies are different. And maybe that's a case of finding the thing that suits you. But it's true. Any true teaching will give you exactly what you need, not necessarily what you want or expect.
So sometimes people are not getting what they want because they haven't found the appropriate practice.
Possibly. And maybe just that, again, that's getting down. I mean, one of my first practices was chewing on a box of raisins. And I did it for a morning and I gave it up because I was horrendously bored. You know, it's like, this is not, you know, maybe if I sat down with someone qualified at the time, they'd be able to talk me through it, my expectations, but it wasn't giving me what I wanted. So maybe that's something there.
I also think this is where the art of coaching and feedback and community comes in.
Yeah.
When you're going on your own, you're left to your own devices, it's easy to second guess and question and try new things, and because you're in your own head. But having that soundboard where you can say, look, I've been doing this, and you say, hey, that's natural, you know, and encourage you to go again the next day. You know, there's got to be an element of support that helps us get something from something, isn't there? Like I know that when I started to learn piano, I started to learn on my own. I didn't know if I was getting better or not, really. I was just practicing. But then when I got lessons and I had someone say, oh no, and that immediate feedback, oh, that's good. Or, you know, you want to put your hand there, or no, this is what this is, and here's some things to practice. Somebody who was used to working with a beginner, my progress was
rapid.
Yeah. And could I have done that on my own? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I'd be playing piano now if I'd have kept doing it on my own. But it's the immediate feedback. We talk about this in flow all the time.
Yeah.
The quicker the feedback, the quicker you can stay on the line, on the path. So if you're doing something and your feet, the time between you doing it and the feedback is way away. You know, like the annual work review, the annual yearly review in performance that most places do.
Yeah.
You know, where you sit down and go, God, we all forgot about what we said you'd do last year.
How was that? Yeah.
How was that? All right, this next year. Like, that is not going to improve performance. Whereas a weekly little slot where we're setting things and adjusting and giving feedback, well done there, could have done that better. Performance just drastically improves. Now, we're always getting feedback when we do things. But I think the trouble is we're not getting external feedback to help us make sense of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it's all, I mean, these spiritual things have always been taught like that, aren't they? They weren't learned through an app or you couldn't download it. It was, you had to go to a qualified teacher, and there was you entered into a kind of relationship or a contract with them. And it was expected for them, you know, the Chinese tradition, in some places you sat on their doorstep for 3 months and swept, you know. You had to show that you really wanted to be there. And now you download it for free, and
where are we missing that in the modern world?
Say again?
Where are we missing that? I'm a big believer in this. I've said that a lot with you, but a lot of the philosophers I think, I don't know if this is in my own head, but sometimes I think a lot of the philosophers I write about, I was saying this to someone in my life, I said, I don't think, sounds quite arrogant, I don't think people will appreciate how truly good Unbreakable is until a couple of decades.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things I often talk about, which are important, people don't want to engage with.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that habits are probably not the future of you need upgrades. I know everyone says habits is cool, it's interesting. Instagram's giving me 5,000 habits to do every time I scroll through my reel. I don't think people will truly appreciate, fuck, they were onto something there.
Yeah.
This laid out path, these upgrades.
Sneezy apples.
yeah. Let's get a new fucking producer. But, you know, I do think that, because I know not many people have integrated that. I don't know many in my industry that integrated that. And one thing I talk about a lot is that the trouble is information is so cheap now, it's not valued.
Yeah.
You don't have to earn information anymore. Just go online. There's 500 things you can do for a spiritual practice. Yeah. Who takes that information and uses it more powerfully? The person who's had to sit on their master's doorstep for 3 months. Yeah. And really, like, are they going to warrant and use that information better than the person who's just got it at their fingertips? I don't think information is anything anymore. I think it's cheap. And anything that's cheap doesn't get taken valued because it's too easy to come by.
Yeah.
And that is our world now. Everything is so easy to come by. We don't value it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we value information, which is why I don't think we act on it. Because there's just more information out there. I'll just get it. Any time it's an alarm bell when someone in a one-to-one capacity, you know, not necessarily a big group, where you're like, okay, you are somebody who's constantly searching. I'm like, if you're going to work with me, you stop searching.
Just do what we do.
We're going to do what we do. Yeah. You stop looking for other answers. Because if you're looking for more answers while we're working together, you're not listening to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Don't confuse yourself that not all information is accurate and relevant to your situation. I'm on another rant.
But it's so true.
But it is. And I just think people don't earn information. They say earn your dopamine on the front. You know, when dopamine comes too quick, it's a problem. And like, we don't, you know, you got to earn it in a sense, like put a bit of graft in, get a reward. Wow. But now we're just rewarded by sliding on our phone and going, oh, look, I could just got amazing dopamine here.
Yeah.
And it's the same with information. And I'm just, you know, when I talk about that, people are like, oh yeah, tell me some stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh God, I wish you'd hear that. I wish you'd hear what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to earn that information to value it. And you think having information is the answer. It's not. And I don't know why I'm ranting about it, but I know it's relevant.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you go, maybe trying to figure shit out on my own and not having that feedback constantly is actually one of the reasons we don't see anything from our practices.
Yeah.
And the thing is with meditation, it's hard to get feedback. It's not like lifting a weight. You go, oh, boom, that's heavy. There's feedback in
Can't measure it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting stronger. Why? I don't know. I just lifted that weight I couldn't lift. I'm getting stronger. There's the visual feedback in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that in meditation, isn't it?
No. I mean, often it's when people stop doing the practice and then things start getting shaky that they go, oh, I see what I was getting from it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are, if you have the right guidance, there are numerous signposts to what you're doing, but you need the guidance because they're often unexpected. So I don't know. I don't know how anyone does this, talking about ascension, spiritual path without a teacher. I don't think it's possible. And yet it's kind of trendy that you are your own guru kind of thing. And you know, we've talked in the past about trusting your intuition, etc. And I think that's powerful, but having an external guide is equally as important, I think.
Why do you think we've gone down that you are your own guru?
Maybe a distrust of the experts.
I was about to say, I think we're in a very skeptical place. We distrust anything. Jamie Will wrote a fantastic email. And I know you read his emails. Most recently about conspiracies.
Oh, it's sitting there waiting. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, it's brilliant. I won't talk about it.
Oh, cool.
But why are we sometimes caught up in things that possibly aren't? And this is a bit off topic, but sometimes it's like, well, there must be a reason for this outside of me. There must be something at play that's this all-encompassing thing that's keeping me down. I think you are, in the sense of like, why do we want to be our own guru? I think it's because we are this like, no, no one tells me what to do.
Yeah.
I can figure this shit out myself. I don't need anyone. I'm my own person. Like, I'm a big fan on being your own person. But surely that's what good guides do. They guide you.
Yeah.
They just keep you on the straight and narrow, don't they?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Provide feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've thought was it is never it. And it's taken my teacher to show me that.
So this is just throw this out there, play devil's advocate. So do you think all these apps are good then, or do you think sometimes they can hinder people's progress?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think it was Buddha said, if I don't tell people about nirvana, then they're doomed because they don't know it exists. They don't know there's a better way of living. But if I tell them about it, they're doomed in a sense because they begin the search for something that they already are, et cetera, et cetera. They go looking in all the wrong places. So apps wonderful because they're introducing these people to a new world of possibility, and this is a way of doing it. And yet you can't learn anything from an app, can you? I mean, I've got a running app. It's pretty good, but nothing replaces a coach.
And also nothing replaces running, right?
Well, actually doing it, yeah.
Yeah. In a way, we're just trying to make things more accessible for everyone, aren't we?
Yeah, which is nice.
Which is great, but is that access coming at the detriment of impact?
I remember years ago in New Zealand having this conversation, and someone's arguing with me passionately that the national long distance paths, which you climb over mountains and go down valleys, they should be open to anyone, any physical ability. So in other words, they should be paved so someone in a wheelchair could navigate these. And I'm like, nature isn't democratic. You're by flattening everything, you're flattening everything. You're taking away the flavor of the thing.
Yeah.
There are just some places you just can't go or you aren't ready to go. And you have to accept that.
So I have that theory about a lot of hallucinogenics. The shortcut.
Yeah.
It's made popular now by influencers online.
Yeah.
Do an ayahuasca retreat. It's a shortcut. What does Jordan Peterson say? Be careful of wisdom you haven't earned.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that. Again, I think there's a lot of that in coaching as well. I always say, you don't take something apart if you can't put it back together. You can go tread there, but the taking things apart's easy. It's the putting it back together that's difficult. So, you should always be mindful of the topics you're and the places you're going with someone.
Yeah.
But so I suppose coming back to the app, you're saying, well, we're trying to make things more accessible. That's good, but everything has its not setbacks. Everything has its limitations, or not limitations. What's the word I'm looking for? Not bad
time and
sides.
place.
Downsides. What part of here's where we can go with this. What part of how much responsibility or how much impact in a negative way has too much information about mental and emotional well-being? How much has that hindered many individuals as opposed to helped? That's something I consider all the time. Meaning now I can go and just delve into information and knowledge about every element of emotion and thought. How much has that hindered our emotional well-being as a society as opposed to improved it?
I used to flat when I was a student with 2 medical students, and they were the biggest hypochondriacs out. Like every week it was the new thing. It was like, oh, I've got this, I've got that.
Yeah.
No, you just hung over.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, it's once we had this conversation, they said it's common.
What's one thing that they say? Don't Google your symptoms.
Right.
Right? If health, don't Google your symptoms. Oh, I got a spot on my knee. Oh, God, your dick's falling off.
It's cancer.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my God, I'm dying. I think I'm dying. I actually had a pain in my arm earlier. I was talking to Mark. I think that's pain in your arm, heart attack.
Yeah.
You know, oh, my God, heart attack. Okay, take that principle to, God, my life isn't working. I'll Google it.
Yeah.
What part does that play in why people can't fix it?
Yeah.
Why can't people move forward? It's like, bloody hell, we're making it worse and worse and worse by delving in.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe in a time where information is everywhere, protecting that information and giving people the appropriate information at the appropriate time could be the most important thing we do.
Yeah.
Is more information better?
Well, I think the vital information is protected. You know, just like with your guys, your course and everything, you got to go through the levels. You got to have an intimate working of it.
Give you an example. In the level 3 mastery, they come off their whole practices for 10 days. I think.
Yeah, you quit everything. Yeah.
Could just no more unbreakable for 10 days. Yeah. Would I do that 30 days into someone's journey?
No way.
Would I go, right, we're going to start looking at the aspects of your personality you don't like 30 days into their journey? No way.
No.
But do I do that 9 months into their journey? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we say, right, we're going to go deal with the biggest stresses in your life when they first arrive? Or do we say, oh my God, you just need to get some foundational habits in place? Yeah. Of course, it's right step, right time.
Yeah. So if it's free, if it's widely available, perhaps it's not the crucial thing.
Well, if it was, we wouldn't be in the spot we're in. You know, would we?
Yeah.
You wouldn't go on the news and go, there is a mental health issue. You know, Mind of UK have released the latest data on mental health and kids is going through the roof. And then they're like, I would look at that and go, if I was in charge of all that, I'd go, all right. And there's going to take time for there to be an impact in what you're doing. There's going to be a lag. But I'd be like, is what we're doing working? Sometimes it's the voice. Also, I think a lot of people are reading the self-help books that aren't applicable to them. Yeah, it's like, this is not applicable to you, is it?
Yeah.
What do you want to read about? You know, you're reading the wrong book. You're doing the wrong thing. That's why it makes no sense. It's like me going to Arjuna, you know, it's like me trying to, you can't, Mark, you always say you can't skip steps.
Yeah.
But we do in our knowledge, we do in our information. It's like, just more information is better. I'm learning about this. It's like, you're skipping steps. You're not there. You can't even do that yet.
Yeah.
Let alone even comprehend thinking about doing that. But here you are, putting all your time and energy into reading and thinking about that. I think also a lot of people make the mistake between knowledge and practice. Just accumulating information being the same as improving your mind, which is not.
Yeah.
I mean, we started this thinking, how do we get somebody who's like, hey, you know, I don't know if this is for me, but we've gone completely round the houses of it, but it's all the same topic, which is, well, what are your expectations of working? Are they reasonable?
Yeah.
Have you given it a long enough time? If you get your expectations in line, I think that does a lot. They always say most resistance is a lack of clarity. So what are we unclear in? How to do it? Possibly.
Or why?
Why we're doing it?
Yeah.
Possibly. Or what to expect from it? Maybe. How would you start? If I was a complete, like, fucking hell, mate, I've tried meditation 4,000 times. I came to you, what would you say? Okay, try this week. If we spoke every week and week 1 you went, okay, Mr. Gwilliam.
I would say come and spend 2 days with me face to face. I mean, it makes my job so much easier when I can teach them what I know. You know, and you know, I can give someone a guided audio about breathing, and it's just so much easier to give them the very best tools right from the beginning.
Interesting. Do you think also that level of commitment from them to travel to you makes a
I think
difference?
probably, yeah. They've got a pretty good chance of practicing afterwards for at least maybe 30 days, you know. But I've got a chance of building their practice and building their expectations and showing them subtler things based on that. So
I'm big into the feedback. As you can tell, I've said the word feedback 400 times in this episode.
yeah.
But I just think I see that, you know, in our high performance mind course now, we lay out like little action plans per individual, week on week, and giving them feedback, but asking them to send us what they're going to do as a result of what we've spoke about. And very often, through no fault of their own, and all this is training, you go, oh, wow, that's not really what we want you to be doing. And it's giving them that feedback. Well, actually, this would look better. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That little back and forth conversation, which takes 5 minutes, completely improves their level of performance. Yeah.
Feedback. Absolutely.
Feedback's crucial. I think, I mean, me and you were going back and forth a lot at the start of mine.
Yeah.
Journey, weren't we? Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes just going, oh, this is happening, you going, yeah.
That's great.
That's cool. Go, oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
But I am someone who's willing to hand over my...
Yes, you are.
I don't know, I think I'm that person. But if someone says, I go, I want this result, and someone says, okay, here's what you're going to do, I go, okay.
Yeah.
And then I do it, and I go, this is happening. If you go, yeah, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Do you know what? That just a light bulb, because you're like the perfect client.
Oh, thank you. Can we just frame that up into some kind of reel?
And good night.
Oh, hang on, he's fucking coughing again. Mark's like, fucking perfect client, my ass. You want to try dealing with him on this podcast? I had to get somebody else in to deal with Mark. Mark's like, I can't talk to you. I need to talk to someone. I had to employ a member of the team.
Got a middle woman.
I think we're 29 episodes in now, roughly, at this one, and I've been fearful of coughing. You know, I love coughing. So, hey, we've done well. We've got 30 days.
So anyway, let's pick back up on me being the perfect client.
Yeah.
Because the other end of the spectrum is they're waiting for me to give them the next nugget, the next information, the next knowledge. And for me, it's never worked out because there's no self-reflection, no reporting back, there's no reporting so I can give feedback upon it. It's give me information, give me the next step, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, which if you were a doctor,
yeah,
and you just walked in and went, fix me.
Yeah, give me the next thing.
Give me some drugs. What? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. If you're an athlete,
tell you about that. I just want to feel better.
Yeah. If you're an athlete, I could video you and see you, but I could get no idea of how that feels when you're in movement.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I think, again, there is this, we keep talking about there, sometimes people want to feel, sometimes, and I put myself in people, that word, certainly when I first started out, we want to hear the shiny, we want to hear we want to hear the wisdom, we want to hear it because that's fun. We don't necessarily want to take that on, try it on for ourselves and go, well, what's going on for me here? And then feed that back. We just want to hear. We confuse that personal development sometimes with just this insatiable thirst to hear cool shit.
Yeah.
If you look on Instagram, what gets the most likes? It's just some cute quote, isn't it? But then you see somebody's written something really thought out, possibly, you know, even a bit, you know, somebody's got a huge following and you're like, wow, that's really deep and interesting and quite truthful. And that's got way less reach than the kind of cookie cutter quote that sounds cute and, oh, wow, aren't you so wise? It's like, I think they just copied and pasted that off somebody else. But, you know, that gets the, we like that.
Yeah.
But does that equal transformation?
Don't think so.
God, we're boring. We're the bearer of bad news, aren't we? All the time.
Yeah.
I was talking about this. Someone said, like, what's your style? I'm like, probably a bit more Roy Keane-esque.
Roy Keane.
Yeah, just like, I'm a black monk. Just like, well, let's just talk about the stuff that matters. But you know, it comes from a good place.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could sell your soul and sell out and become a social media monk, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But you could, couldn't you?
Well, I could follow the steps, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a program for that.
Yeah.
If you want. Yeah. How to monetize your monk, it's called.
With the 5 M's are we up to?
Monetize your monk mission. The monetize your monk mission.
Yeah,
but I know I often think this. I talk to this Mark. I talk about this at home. I'm like, you know, I know I could personally, I could really sell myself short on my true beliefs and values, and it'd be easy and impactful. But you know, I don't feel called, or I just, you know, not talking about myself, but it's like I just have to do what I feel's right. That's kind of why I like Roy Keane. He's a bit of a caricature of himself sometimes, but I think he's genuinely like, that's what I think. I think a spade's a spade. I think that's rubbish. I said that's rubbish. That's why I'm here, right? And sometimes I'm like, I think that's crap, so I'm just going to say, and I think this is what I think, and that's what I'm going to say, and I mean no harm. But that's just, I'm here to commentate on this, and that's my commentary on information. That's what I think about information.
Give you the thing.
From my experience of coaching hundreds and hundreds of people. but sometimes we don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Quick fixes, eh?
Yeah. Quick fixes. That's why the diet industry is so big, isn't it?
That's why I started doing HIIT training for marathons. 9 minutes will increase your VO2 max. And I was hoping it was going to transfer.
Do you think we like it because it removes our thought about how much work we're going to have to do?
Possibly, yeah. Or maybe you just want the result, you want to be there yesterday.
Which I get, because when you're in pain, you just want out, don't you? You just want out of that bloody pain.
Yeah.
But that's where sometimes you got to be mindful online, because there's always someone who's going to play on that pain and maybe not deliver on the outcome. But when you do your monetize your monk mission, I can't wait to see you as a social media monk, a guru monk.
Yeah. How would you do it? How would you transform me into that?
I think you need more beads.
Beads. I was going to say beads. Candles?
He needs more beads. The monkster mind. Yeah, the monkster mind. You can have a monkster mind. I think where you take other monks and you teach them how to monetize their monk. But yeah, I would have more beads. I'd want to see you kind of a bit like Russell Brand. I want to see you kind of sat cross-legged with some robes and hugging people. I want to see you hug more people just in the street.
Bit more chest.
And I want someone to take images of that and come in for the hug and heal.
That long, uncomfortable hug.
Can you start healing people by touch?
Wow.
You're going to have to. That's module number 1 in my Monetize the Monk. I want you to touch people, heal them, create some kind of convent-y, cult-esque kind of image, and all play on people's fears about the future. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's chapter 3 of my Monetizing Monk. Just start playing on their fears and really poke around with them, and then present yourself as the only kind of avenue and salvation out of that. Yeah. Yeah. What's chapter 4 in my Monetize the Monk mission? Mark's like writing this down. It's fucking great stuff. I'll tell you what.
Get a podcast.
Oh yeah, you need a podcast.
Oh yeah. Every monk needs a podcast.
You do. But I want yours done up on a hill.
The wind and the chimes and
And I want you. Chapter 4 is you've got to take yourself far too seriously.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You've got to like really take yourself seriously. and like, I don't know, like have some sad backstory, but then like really fall in love with your own voice, even though you're teaching people to not be ego driven, be really ego driven in your mission.
Yeah.
Just do the opposite of Sadhguru, because he's my favorite.
There you go.
Because he's just cool, isn't he? Yeah. It's all Sadhguru. How are you, Sadhguru? Is he recovered from his brain?
Oh, wow.
He had a brain tumor, didn't he? I love that bloke.
Get him on the pod.
Me and him would have such a cool chat. I was like, yeah, you would. Me and Sadhguru be like, I know everything. I've read your inner engineering. I'm good.
I've got the information.
I've got the info. Chapter 5. People are like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? We're only joking, people. Arjuna's not really going to monetize his monk.
Yeah.
Well, he is, but not in the...
It's actually become, when I first began this 22 years ago, people would be shocked that I'd be charging for a weekend.
Man.
You should be giving this for free. But now people don't. So I think it's
why
that. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's people out there who value the important information.
But you're not providing information. You're providing
the important experiences. The important feedback, the guidance.
I think actually I had this own insight. I've shared this before, but just quickly to wrap this up. When I used to have this mission of like, I want to help, that key word. I want to help these people, and I want to, I want to help. I'm here to help. And people would almost be like, oh, you're here to help. Brilliant. Yeah. It's like, well, I want to help, but I want this money to help. That was almost like, whoa. So I never framed myself as
helping.
This do-gooding helper around the world. Like I say, yeah, I coach people. Like people go, oh, they understand. I think people hear that and go, oh, there's some monetary exchange involved in that. Oh, we train people. Oh, brilliant. Around these topics. Oh, great. As opposed to, oh, I just want to help a million people. How dare you? You said you wanted to help me.
Yeah.
So I think that actual just change of language has helped, ironically, to set it, to frame it differently.
Yeah.
Because that it's nothing worse than having that conversation where you're like, how could you possibly think this would be for free?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a hard conversation. Not conversation, but... Because then people would commonly come out and defend themselves. I did all my 40 podcasts this year, and they were free for you to listen to, and that cost me X amount of money, and I've done 14,000 free 5-day challenges, and I'm like, I'm getting involved now. I've done loads for free. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, it's not free. So it's just not. Why did you do your free challenge? Well, I love training and helping people, but ultimately it helps people come into our courses. Yeah. I was upfront about that. Yeah. If you don't want to come in, great. Have a free 5 days with us. Enjoy it. Knock yourself out. Brilliant. The minority sign up. Or 50%. 50% come in. Great.
Yeah.
We all win, don't we?
Yeah.
Rather than, I'm such a good person.
Well, in many ways, it's the equivalent of sitting on your teacher's doorstep for a few weeks. Okay, it's an exchange, isn't it? I'm really invested in this, and I want to show you here's something I value.
Yeah, and I always think I always want to meet people. It's one of my values to like meet people and go, here's some value. I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
I think it's a trying on experience. Actually, it's like, you get to try us on. Look, do you like me? Yeah, cool, brilliant. Do you like what we're about? Yeah, it makes sense to me. Here's some options. And some people are like, I really like it, but I can't afford it. And it's like, that's no worries. You just crack on, hang around the community, hang around the page, get on the email list. No worries. There's never any, And some people are like, oh my God, I want to come in. Great, come on in. Some people are like, oh my God, you're a prick. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Then they opt into the next 5-day challenge. I'm back. I'm like, I thought you said I was a prick. Well, you are, but I'm here anyway. It's like, oh my God.
You're a helpful prick.
Yeah. I quite like your stuff you talk about, but you're a twat. So, come on in. Welcome to my house.
Take your shoes off, please.
Yeah. No bad language in here. Arjuna, it's been a blast, mate, to have you on.
Yeah, you too. It's so good to catch up. Yeah.
I've really enjoyed our conversations as well. Personally,
Me too.
It's not often I get to sit and talk about awareness and awareness of awareness, and information, and all these things. I'm usually talking, about where I should plant my new clematis. But I like those conversations, but I also like these conversations. So it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you.
Is there any? Would you like to end with a quote?
A quote?
We had one episode had about 500 quotes in.
It's been empty, hasn't it?
You got no quotes left?
I always have the one quote. It's how's it go? I have to get it right because it's symmetrical.
Well, compose yourself.
Be aware.
Be aware of the awareness. Are you aware of Mark's awareness right now?
No, he's staying out of the way, isn't he? Yeah. It goes, when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live a life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice.
And that concludes our episode. Because I'd ruin it right now. I'd start quoting Bruce Springsteen lyrics.
There we go. Bruce is a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of my favourite lyrics to end with, but I can't.
No.
I don't want to ruin this moment. Thank you, Arjuna.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, man.
Speak to you soon. Peace, everyone.